Imagine if all you could see was this small spot, if everything else was a blur. That's what happened to Michael Linz. He's almost blind due to glaucoma.
One day, I got out of the bathtub and thought I had soap in my eye. So I rubbed it, but it didn't go away. And it turned out I had glaucoma in both eyes. When I received the diagnosis and heard both eyes were affected, I must say I got pretty depressed.
Now Michael is joining a residential rehabilitation program. It's a big step that requires courage and is associated with fear and shame. Can Michael learn to live without his eyesight and find a new place in life? In 1 month, Michael, 60, will be moving to a rehabilitation centre in Berlin. Today we're visiting him at his home on the city's outskirts. The darkness in his field of vision is growing. There's just a small spot left in his centre of vision.
If I drop something, then it's pretty much gone. It's incredibly hard to find. I need to keep track of where I put things. I was never the most organized, and now that's coming back to haunt me.
Michael is a social worker at a shared living facility for people with cognitive impairments. He's known some of his clients since they were children.
Now I can recognize myself responding in the same way as the people I work with. In many cases, support fails because it cannot be accepted. There's a certain sense of shame associated with accepting help. I technically need more help than I ask for.
Michael has a grown son he used to enjoy working out with. He had a lot of hobbies and loved to travel, but then, gradually, he started to withdraw.
That's sometimes the way I cope, by avoiding certain things. If I'm struggling with something, I quickly lose my patience. When I have a day off, I avoid doing anything difficult.
Even if that might also mean avoiding pleasant things.
I don't travel anymore, for example. Not at all. There are things I'd like to do. Visit friends, visit family. I'd love to, but not at this cost. I hardly go out. It's not like it looks nice out here. Everything's always foggy.
Michael had to learn that blindness was taking more from him than just his eyesight. He was also losing his sense of connection with others.
I feel like I'm losing my own expressions because you always mirror other people's.
He's not incredibly keen on the thought of going into rehab for an entire year. He still can't quite picture what good it would do.
I don't know yet. It's hard to say. It's not like I'm hanging all my hopes on it. In terms of eyesight, you can learn to manage all sorts of situations. But that still doesn't mean you can see.
1 month later, his rehab begins in a residential school in Berlin, specialized in the professional rehabilitation of people living with blindness and visual impairment. Green star, also known as glaucoma, is one of the most common causes for blindness, affecting over 80 million people worldwide. It's sometimes also referred to as the silent thief of eyesight, because it often causes vision loss before it's even detected. Frank Kiesling is one of the therapists here. They're discussing Michael's next steps.
More and more items are disappearing from where I left them on the kitchen table. I'm getting more insecure. For rehab, we'll check out where the issues are and do another eye examination.
Now it's time for Michael to meet his class. Most here don't want to be shown on camera. Losing their eyesight has cost plenty a fulfilled and successful career. In Michael's case, he's lucky to be paired up with Doris Spiekermann. She used to be a photojournalist with a large daily paper, until she could no longer deny that she was going blind.
Throughout the year that I spent here, my confidence shifted entirely. It came back. I was devastated. I couldn't see anymore. I couldn't do anything anymore. Stay this year. You'll definitely learn something new.
With her, Michael can talk about anything, like the fact that he doesn't want a cane or a visual impairment badge. He doesn't want others to see that he's blind.
It just goes to show how self-conscious one can get. I used to think I wasn't really all that vain.
I used to think I wasn't vain either.
But in this case, you can tell, right?
I just don't feel very mobile with it, but I'm not really mobile anyway.
I keep wanting to pretend like I can see so that others can't tell.
For Michael, that meant turning down all support. If he didn't accept help, he told himself he wasn't really blind.
And then I visited the professor. He had a look at everything, checked my field of vision. Then he asked, "Have you applied for blindness benefits yet?" And I just looked at him and said, "No." He said, "Well, you're blind." And I have to say, I felt so relieved. It was such a weight off my shoulders to realize that I didn't have to keep pretending I could see.
Michael and Doris want to stay in touch. They share similar problems and concerns, and the same sense of humour. After 9 months of rehab, we go back to visit Michael. He comes up to greet us with a cane.
It was easy thanks to the cane, because my vision's gotten a lot worse.
Mobility specialist Petra Kieborg shows us how Michael started out. They spent months training indoors. Today, they give us a demonstration.
People with total blindness can learn to turn at right angles. We practice that, down to turning your feet the right way, so that you learn how to orient yourself. Then each time you turn, you know, I just turned 90 degrees to my right, so I might have to turn back 90 degrees to my left. Then if he notices stairs in a building, then I know I can take him outside.
Today they're practicing acoustic signals at pedestrian crossways. Unlike many other cities in Germany, Berlin is fairly well equipped with guiding strips and sounds for people with low vision. But they take long to fix, which is why the two also practice situations like this.
No sound. That will be a challenge down the road, but we don't practice that today. For now, we'll stick to easy things.
Michael needs to place a lot of trust in his mobility trainer. She's the one opening the door for him back into a life of independence.
The first time he crosses alone will likely be more nerve-wracking for me than for him. I'll be biting my nails.
Entering a shop or taking a train, I'm still a little insecure at train stations.
Michael's vision is down to 2%. He might lose that too. For now, he's trying to use as much digital technology as he can.
I've gotten enough input here at the school. I'm still practicing Braille on my phone. And once I've got the bandwidth for it, I'll turn to other things, like getting audio output, so I can find my way around the city using Google Maps.
It's February 2026. Michael has been out of rehab for a month.
I'm on vacation for now, and I'm enjoying it. That was all pretty strenuous. I learned a lot, it was good. My brain has been trained well, for example, in remembering things quickly.
Now, Michael is 62. He still does pretty much everything himself. The fact that his yard isn't as tidy as his neighbours doesn't bother him too much. It is a wildlife garden after all.
I was cutting back the hedge here, and suddenly my neighbour, who had been passing by, greets me and tells me I'd cut a hole in it. Things like that can happen, but what can you do? I've got to do it somehow.
He wants to use the wood he's cut to make a garden chair with friends. That too has been coming back, his desire to be creative. Much has improved, but Michael still doesn't want to go back to his old job.
I probably won't take up my old work. I thought that's exactly how I'd feel. Like a blind dog, not good for anything, being fed scraps out of kindness. And I wouldn't be able to keep working at my old job with an attitude like that. I'm a family therapist, and I'd be keen to practice that. And I think that's something I could do from home. There's phone consultations. I'll take care of that next.
And now Michael is back to working out. He and his son have devised a special challenge, holding a 1-hour plank. His son can already make it a whole hour. Michael is up to 43 minutes.
He called me the other day, and we talked on the phone while I was down here. It was fun. But at some point, I could hear his heavy breathing, and that reassured me a bit.
He goes shopping twice a week. The bus only comes once every hour, so he walks 4 kilometers instead. The snow and ice are enough to challenge anybody, even with their eyesight.
Now I know that I can get around. I'm already thinking about traveling and going out more often than I do now. But first, I'm going to take back my day-to-day life. Go grocery shopping or head into Berlin and stuff like that. And then we'll see from there. I'm looking forward to it, because I know it's possible.
Glaucoma might have stolen his vision, but it won't take his life away from him.
My goal is to have fun. That's what I kept trying to drive home to the clients I worked with. It's all about having fun in life. And what I used to always tell them, I am now claiming for myself. So I will only keep doing things that I really enjoy.
Ich werde nur noch was tun, was mir wirklich Spaß macht.